Hello, this is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. This video is for Kiev in Macau, in China. And this is wire harness that came from SL320. It's a right-hand drive, automatic, and it is not US version. And therefore, it is actually quite different from what we see in the US. And the arrangement is totally different, and it's just weird. Okay, so this is totally different harness that I've seen in SLs. Now the reason that it's on the floor is because it's quite large, and I don't really have that big of a workbench to actually have it sit on the workbench, so I will have to do it on the floor. I put my lights and everything so I can clearly see what I'm doing here, and I can spread it around, so I can actually just, move it around here and there, so I can inspect the wires and move good portions away and bad portions on the other side and whatnot. So it's actually more convenient for me to work on it as is. So now I want to go over it, and it's probably going to be a long video because there's quite a few things to look into. I received it a few days back, but I didn't have chance to really work on it yet. So today is the day I'll start on it, and first video, which is right now, is inspection. See what we have to do. Now it came with this computer box, and the computer box is something that you do want to keep all the wires in. You don't want to start taking these out. It's actually something that was properly done. Just shipping the whole thing with box attached, because it would have been a nightmare later on to get all these pins back in place. So this is good. The first thing is, let's see, big item first, the computer box itself. Now obviously all the wires here and there, the connector situation. So this is the main ECU. This is the one that does fuel management right here. This is most likely ASR. This might have been an e-gas. Again, I have to look at diagrams, but don't quote me on whichever one is what. Usually yellows are for e-gas, okay, and this one is for cruise control module or e-gas, whatnot. This one could be the actual ASR module. This is base module. That's the one with fuses. These are usually black. This one, don't remember, to be honest with you, whichever one this plug is for. Well, anyway, it's not principal. We have certain problem. I'll show you what it is. The connectors themselves, they're supposed to have these little tabs. I don't know if it can show. See, like right here. These tabs are there to hold it in place. When you pull the computer, connector remains in the box. Unfortunately, some of them do have tabs, some of them do not. So as you can see right here, the tab's missing. The tab is missing. Both over here are in place. One here, one here. And this one is also missing. This one is in place. See, like right over here. So this tab is here. Okay, Keith, so you gotta, when you put these in, the very good news is that, see this module, very good news is that the tabs that are more important are these, not the inner ones, but these, because if these are broken, then when you push computer in, the connector falls inside. So you have to really hold it from underneath, which is difficult because there's really limited room to do so. So that's a good news. But if you pull computers out, you have to sort of put a screwdriver and hold it down. And yeah, so it's kind of like not moving around. On the other hand, in US versions, see, you're supposed to have a case that goes around. The case goes over, and usually case holds the actual plug, even with the broken tab, still in place. So basically, if you put it back together and you have this connector, let's say, sit in there, a US version, and most likely it's going to be also a version the European version that you have, it's going to have little pins over here that will actually hold it in place. So this is not principle. So again, because you have these pieces, that's very good. All right, so let's move on. When you put all these grommets back in, you want to warm them up because they're really stiff. So you want to warm them up and just push them in place. So that is that. I will have to do something with this one because the wires there just a little different from, well, whatever, I'll deal with it later. Now, so let's just start off with the wiring. So we see most of the wires are pretty much all of them, it appears they're fine. This is your octane rating for gasoline, the little ignition angle switching. These connectors, grounds, as you can see, even though the wires are old, put more lights on. Yeah, put more lights on. But they're in good shape. Again, I don't quote me on which wire goes where because this is European harness. This is different from what I work on. Now, these wires look pretty good. You don't see any kind of deterioration happening. And this would be the part number, I assume, for the whole harness. Yep, probably this is it, but we cannot read it. It doesn't matter, we don't need to. So these wires look pretty good. Okay, so all of that looks pretty good. Now this is just taped over here. I have to double check on coaxials as well. So we'll open up this connector if it's coaxial. No, it's not. Okay, so this one is fine. They taped it, I guess, for the reinstallation purposes. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to touch that because mechanics need to know where connectors would need to go. Grounds over here look fine, no deterioration found. So now this plug right here, it appears to be the injector harness connector for your fuel injectors, temperature sensors, and so forth, so on. Now the harness that plugs in here also might have been deteriorated, so you have to double check on that. Oh, wildlife. Hey, buddy, busy? Yeah, no, yeah, busy. Okay, he's busy. So anyway, so these are, again, this is the basement of my home here that I work in. It's my little workshop here, so I don't bother nobody. And my wife is not pissed because I'm away and dirt stays inside here. I got a bunch of machines here. So, and it's warm. And I have AC for the summer, so it's all good. Yeah, all the wires look pretty good. I have no issues. And usually, like I said before, these are the wires that usually do not fail. But again, because it's European version, it did fail. Oh, here's our part number. It appears right there. Yeah, I think this is the part number, not that one. There's more. Just see, this is a strange harness, and like I said, this is something that you don't really see often. Okay, positive cables, all good, no problems here. Very, very good. Diagnostic connector, everything seems fine. All of them are good. Let's move on. This is the harness that goes on the other side in the other fuse box. On the other side of the car. Like, again, you want to just look at any kind of signs of deteriorations, and I don't see any. All the pins are soldered, nothing is broken, which is very good. No wires separated. These little things, though, on the other hand, these have to be double checked because this could be coaxial, and some of the coaxials in Mercedes also fail, specifically on the crankshaft position sensor. That's very important because if that fails, then you will always have issues. And I've done them before. Now, this is our throttle body connector. Again, as you see, it is quite unusual setup, but it is what it is. I just cut into the insulation there, but you can clearly see the wires are nice and colorful, so nothing is wrong with that. These are like some large power cables here, some sort of junction connection. They all look fine. Okay, so we're good. This is the coaxial that I might need to look into just to double check, because this could be your crankshaft position sensor right here. And if this one is bad, and I did see them go bad, then yes, we could have an issue. But I'm not gonna just really like destroy it. I'm gonna look at at the main connector and see what it looks like, the cables themselves. Now these wires look a little messed up. I don't know where they went. This seemed to be fans, okay, coolant fans. There's a little bit of a split there. Coolant fans, it appears to be horns, it appears to be air AC compressor connector here, it looks like to me, and some grounds, I assume. These could be the the sensors, pressure sensors for the air HVAC, for the AC compressor. You know, like a high pressure switch, low pressure switch, so you know what are the pressures in your AC system. This one was broken. I don't know where it went. It was just missing all along, and it seems like it's been broken for a while. So this to me looks like a coolant fan, to be honest, and this one looks like a coolant fan too. But this could be also, most likely this is a resistor for coolant fans, so the other end of the resistor, because it appears to be so. So the resistor and the resistor, this is where your low speed resistor connects, and these wires go to coolant fan, okay? This is a 6-cylinder, so you could have just a single fan, and therefore you have just one resistor. On some S classes you got 2 resistors, and this is like 2-speed, 3-speed fans, but not principal. But that is to be adapted when you receive this back. This is just a ground here, and this is the resistor, most likely. That's very, very plausible. That's what it is. This I don't know. It's just like some random connector somewhere in the vicinity there. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not, you know, this is not something for me to really, it's not principle. It's not needed to know, to be known. Big positive and negatives, they're good. The wires, they look pretty nice and thick. As you can see, they end